yi, ra, ram. They should all be down bow. Fa, mi, re, do. Fa, mi, re, do. Fa. Once you played, once this is up, that should be down. That should be down. That should be down. Now you have to go the way it comes. Right?
Each one you do down D.
La, yi, ra, ri, di, ra, ra. And winds, you too must play, so to speak, down bow. La, yi, ra, ra, di, ra, ra. That's what makes the grazioso.
Hello, everyone, and a good evening to you. My name is Simon, and I'm the euphonist for JPO. I will be a host for tonight's program. I hope that everyone is doing their best to maintain the social distancing, proper hygiene, and following the advice given by the governments. This series of programs are done because we think that this will be able to help in lifting up our spirit in this period of restricted movement. And we hope that you will be able to learn something new through the things that we talk about in this program. During this session, we'll greatly appreciate any feedback, and of course, questions are more than welcome if you have any. And please type them down in the Q&A below, which will be located at the bottom screen. So tonight we have a very special guest all the way from Philippines, Mr. Ariel Perez. So Mr. Ariel Perez, bassoonist and recorder player. He graduated from Guildhall School of Music and Drama in London, England, Hong Kong Academy for Performing Arts, and St. Paul University in Manila. As a bassoonist, Mr. Ariel has represented the country in music workshops and festivals. In 1990, after a competitive audition, he attended the first Pacific Music Festival held in Hokkaido, Japan, under the artistic direction of Leonard Bernstein and conductor Michael Tilson Thomas with the London Symphony Orchestra. In the same year, he joined the Asian Youth Orchestra under the music direction of Yehudi Menuhin in Kumamoto, Japan, with concert tour in Asia. The following year, he was accepted at the Aspen Music Festival held in Japan, Colorado. Hello, Mr. Ariel, and a good evening to you. We are very honored to be able to have you here for tonight. Thank you for your time. So, Mr. Ariel, welcome once again. And can you explain us some and share to us what was your musical background in the Philippines?
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes,
and I'm honored to do this interview. Actually, my background in the Philippines, when I was in high school, actually, we have a lot of bands in our town, Angono, Rizal. And I started playing the bass clarinet, actually. With just some friends from high school, we decided to join in a community band. Then after that, we work and study, and then most of the time, there's nobody in our family to studying instrument, actually. And the first one will become a musician. And because probably the fate just, throw me there.
Okay. So what inspired you to take bassoon as your instrument?
When I was in a community band in Angono, Rizal, there was a music festival in Mount Makiling in Laguna, and this is a kind of concert band, kind of symphonic band workshop. It was held there for 3 weeks or more, and I played the bass clarinet. And then they asked me to play the bassoon, but I have no idea what it is. And they said, okay, I will try, because that's the first time I saw bassoon in that symphonic band. Then that's everything just follows. Then when I went to the University of the Philippines, because they gave me scholarship during that summer camp, I need to, take an examination to go to the university. But I have no time because I was in Mount Makiling. But they gave me scholarship. Then I accepted it. Then when I went to UP, I registered that I will study clarinet, but they asked me to study the bassoon.
I see.
And that's why I studied the bassoon in the university.
Okay. So, little question. Does playing the bass clarinet and bassoon differ very greatly, or it's more or less the same?
Actually, the fingering is totally different because in the bassoon, the thumb have a kind of 12 keys to play.
Oh, okay.
Instead, in the bass clarinet, the left thumb can play two, and the right thumb is just resting in the clarinet, and the rest is working. That's the difference. It's more complicated instrument.
I see. Okay. So, how did you prepare for the auditions for AYO, PMF, and Aspen?
Yeah, actually, when I prepared that, I was in the Hong Kong Academy at the time. So I was a student. Then I study preparing my slow and fast movement of any concertos. And mostly, they give us the list of the orchestral excerpts that we need to play. And then I just practice every day, making it work. And I listen to some symphonies because the orchestra excerpt is quite difficult. And if you have no experience playing in an orchestra, it will not go well. And then that's that I prepare a lot.
I see. Okay. So, how is it working with renowned conductor Leonard Bernstein?
Leonard Bernstein is a great conductor. Before I meet him, I heard a lot in television, in some concert, video concert.
Okay.
Actually, when you were in the rehearsal, in the rehearsal, when he walked in the room, everybody will become quiet. He just like somebody's walking like a king or a god or something like that. And then when he stand in the podium, he doesn't talk much. But if he will say something, he will explain it. But he just look around when he's going to start conducting. But you will see all the musicians, they're so attentive. It's like Bernstein put a spell on everyone. They are really contained and ready to play. The excitement of putting the downbeat in the rehearsal, it's really very nice. Means he is commanding. He knows what he's doing. He doesn't move too much. But when he explain it over and over in musical way. And he's a very good conductor.
Okay. So, speaking of that, how do you define a good conductor and a bad conductor, if you may?
A good conductor means you can use your baton to control the orchestra. Means they will understand you. Means you deliver your words through your baton. Means you don't need to talk too much. If you talk too much, means you are not really doing your baton properly. Because the body gesture, your baton, everything, the orchestra will follow. And that is really controlling. Because if you talk too much, that's not the orchestra wants.
So action speaks louder than word. Okay.
Yes.
I see. Okay. So, what else do you do aside from forming?
At the moment, I'm teaching at the University of Santo Tomas as a music teacher. I have this classroom teaching like solfeggio and ear training. And I have also a MIDI class, like inputting like computer assisted notation like Sibelius, MuseScore, or any other programs. And also I'm doing other computer assisted like the PowerPoint that you can make it related to the musicians, means presentation and poster making or program brochure making like that.
Okay, I see. So, you teach musical notation like Sibelius and Notefly, is it?
Yeah, Sibelius. Actually,
Oh,
I like the Sibelius because when you finish the product, when you print it, it's like the one that you are buying. The setup is almost the same.
okay. Uh, I myself use musical notation. So usually I start with MuseScore because it's easy. I mean,
Yeah, it's easy.
it's free.
Yeah.
So for people who use MuseScore, what do you think they should change to if they want to level up to their next program, so to say?
Okay, if you're using the basic computer notation, and
Mhm.
if you are not really doing a big arrangement, something like that,
Okay.
if you're
Mhm.
only basic things, that you can use that actually, and it's enough already to do your
Okay.
project. But you're going to do a bigger one, like what do you call it, romantic composers, or even
Mhm.
modern compositions, because there's a kind of different notation that is not available in the simple version.
Okay.
And also, in the advanced one, you can also create a video editing while you are putting the music together with the movement in the video, and you can edit it easily. That's why you
Okay.
can make it an exact movement of the music in the action.
See.
Yeah.
So let's since you're teaching musical notation, so you can explain which one do you prefer, traditional method of writing music on paper or musical software notation?
Actually, when I'm teaching the music notation, I teach
Mhm.
my student calligraphy also to write it using your hand. Calligraphy point 1.5, it's supposed to be, that's the one I'm using. I teach them how to write like a printed one. They stroke everything. Because the idea is if you have no computer, if you're somewhere else, how can you write music? Means you still need to know the basic.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
why it's still, when you write the music also by hand, you will become a fast reader also when you're
Okay.
writing it. Now, of course, when you're using the program, the technology, it's faster. It helps
Mhm.
the composer, the arranger to do the thing in a short period of time compared to writing. That's why I recommend both of them can be practiced.
Okay. So it's better to have both lah, right?
Yeah,
For
the
general.
calligraphy one, oh yeah, and the computer. That's why case to case what you're doing, if you need to
Mhm.
read faster, a lot of notes, because you can do it quicker.
Okay. So, Mr. Ariel, do you teach using, do you teach student digital audio workspace, DAWs?
We don't do that kind of thing in the class.
Or is it a totally different thing? Or
Yeah, it's a totally different thing when you're editing audios, something like that. It's a kind of, like the iMovie thing. Now you're doing like that. Because mostly I'm in a classical system that we use mostly music notation. That's why giving them all the shortcuts to make it faster, to remember the things, and all advanced technique in writing music.
okay. So, you are a graphic designer as well, right?
Yeah, actually, it's just for curiosity. Then I
Oh, okay.
downloaded a lot of and then actually I made a lot of poster already, and even program when my wife is doing a kind of concert in her students. I
Mm-hmm.
design poster and the program also, and actually I also design logos that sometimes I sell it, and it's a good money also if they buy it.
Understand, yeah. It's
Yeah,
always good to have extra income.
yeah, something like that.
Mhm. Okay, so we shall move on. So, as a musician, how do you cope with the lockdown or quarantine period?
Yeah, at the moment, of course, to be safe, you just need to stay home. Now, I go out only when it's emergency, like buying some food, go to the bank or buying some medicines. At home, of course, you cannot do anything much except you clean at home, do the other things that You never do like in that corner is never been touched for a long time. Then I clean it. Then the next day I'm going to clean this other corner. Then the next day, then when we have time, then I play duet with my wife. I play the bassoon and she plays the violin. Sometimes I play the recorder and she plays the violin. And there's a lot of Baroque music that we can play every day.
Okay, very, very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned that you play the recorder as well. May I ask you, why do you play the recorder?
When I was in Hong Kong Academy, actually I saw this recorder and I tried to play it. Then I get interested. Then there is one famous recorders player, Mikala Petri, and she gave a master class in Hong Kong, and I joined in the master class playing my plastic recorder. And luckily, she just said, "It's beautiful." That's it. That's her comment. Then I didn't get anything. I just played one sonata for her. Then at that point, then means the school found me that I play the recorder. There's a production that they need a recorder player. Then they put me in that production in the school to play the recorder. Then I said, oh, there's something going on here. Then after that, I play some recorder quartet. And then when I come back to the Philippines also, I invited some people that who plays recorder. And then we have concert, like a concert at the park, but it's in kind of old place that we play recorder. It's a kind of free area to play and perform in classical way. That's why I started playing recorder and I love it. Now I'm teaching also in MSO Music Academy. I have one student playing recorder and giving him a lot of classical playing. You know, it's a serious, piece that I like a lot of Telemann, Marcello, like that, and even studies.
Okay.
That's why it's really nice music.
Oh, all right. Maybe can you suggest to us some recorder piece for us to listen to?
Mostly, I like Mikala Petri's recording. A lot of Baroque, like Telemann, Marcello. Means you just type recorder and then with this old Baroque composer, it's really the thing in recorder is in Baroque period. They are in the golden time. But actually, the classical is not. Then when it's a romantic, a little bit. Then in modern, then the recorder is being used also. But they use the recorder uh, like plastic and wood. The plastic, they use it in 20th century. Then when you are playing Baroque pieces, even Renaissance, you use a wooden one, it's a lot better sound. The only difference with the recorder, they have two systems. They have English and German. The German system is always used for the kids because they simplify the fingering. Now the English or the Baroque fingering, that's what the professional are using because it's more in tune.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
I never knew that. Something new.
Yes.
Mr. Errol, you seem to be playing a lot of rare instrument, huh? It's the bassoon, recorder, and bass clarinet. I mean, we don't really have a lot of people playing this instrument.
Yeah, actually, I like something that you can excel it. Actually, you know, my study in bassoon is giving me a lot of future because I never choose it. Probably the bassoon choose me because when I started my bassoon, everything just put in place with me because you see, I study in Hong Kong Academy, I study in Guildhall School of Music. I went to a lot of festival, but I travel it because I can only play bassoon and because probably I'm good. That's why they accepted me because all my study in Hong Kong and in Guildhall are all scholarship. I stay in Hong Kong for 4 years, scholar. Then 2 years in London, scholarship also. Means I studied the bassoon and I didn't pay any single cent in my study abroad.
Wow. Nice. So, for people who are actually interested in the bassoon, but they don't have the budget to get one, what do you suggest for them to do to start learning the bassoon?
Yeah, I think that's another difficulties of bassoon. Bassoon is rare and expensive. That's why the only thing that you
Yeah.
can study the bassoon is you need to go to an orchestra that they have bassoon and schools that they provide the instruments, or you need to find sponsor to buy it. I bought my bassoon when I was studying in Hong Kong Academy. What happened? The school loaned me a money, zero interest, and then I should pay it monthly. At that time, I was doing a kind of gig in Macau Sinfonietta every month. That's the money I paid for 1 year. Then I own the instrument after that.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, it's really hard. Now, if you are in the Philippines, means it's difficult. You probably use it in private school and it's all, old instrument. The
Mhm.
good thing about the Filipino musician, they can really adjust of what is the problem of the instrument, or they improvise a lot of things. And but in other country, because they can afford to buy, actually, they can really study well in the bassoon. Most of the bassoon players are from clarinet or saxophone. But I
Okay.
know some that they really wanted to study at the early age. Now in China, they do a smaller bassoon. It's key in F, and
Oh,
the kids can play it. It's really less key, but it's just key in F, not in C. Means it's higher, but it's a bassoon, a smaller bassoon for kids. The Chinese do that already. That's why they have a very early program in the kids to have that. We are not fortunate that in Asia, like us, can have that, but it's
okay.
possible.
I see. Actually, I'm interested in a bassoon, but yeah, the one problem is very hard to look
Yeah,
for one to practice.
and
Yeah.
there's also one thing: the reed. Means the
Hmm.
reed, it must be. You need to make your own reed to suit in your embouchure, because every player have different type of reeds. That's
I
why
see.
if you buy a reed, sometimes it doesn't suit you. That's why you need to adjust it. That's why learning the bassoon is easier than learning how to make reeds. It's difficult
Oh,
because if I buy 10 like bamboo cane, you need to shape it, then shape, cut or something like that. Then out of 10, maybe you just get one or two. Then the rest is rubbish. Then you need to make
wow.
again. That's
Okay.
the difficulties of the double reed, even from the oboe. But the good thing about it, the double reed have a very sonorous sound. It's totally different from any other woodwind instrument. It's
Oh,
kind of new things, man.
okay. I see. So we need to learn how to make the reed as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mr. Ariel, so you're aware that JPO has been doing outreach program, and could you
Huh?
please share your thought on your view and opinion experience on outreach program and also concerning JPO?
Okay. When I was in Cebu, we have this Salvadorian Pilar Salas Foundation. Uh, we are, I think, 5 musicians from Manila. We stay there, and then they teach strings and woodwinds. Now we get kids from different walks of life, not that they cannot afford to, own or rent an instrument, to look for potential scholars and to give them hope. And then after that, that is a kind of outreach that we are doing. Then when they learn everything, then we go to next batch of outreach to the schools. Let these kids play for them, see how they can become like them also, what they can achieve and to play violin, flute, or clarinet. And then we always started with the kids in that period, because we had this 10-year plan of the foundation. To do that outreach means it needs to be different every time. It means you need to upgrade also. Then other outreach is like in your the same area. For example, all your members, we will do a kind of outreach, means out of reach from the parents. What we do is they need to have a workshop for 1 week, for example, 8 o'clock until 5 p.m. in one place that no parents are allowed because we want them to become independent. Now, in our programming like that, an outreach means it develops the same orchestra members to learn a lot of things about music because of interaction and technique. We have a schedule like 8 o'clock in the morning, they need to be there. Everybody means the parents will bring them. And then they will go home at 5. The next day, they will go home back again 8 o'clock. Means in 7 days, that's a kind of intensive in 1 week. But they will not stay there, but they just go there. Means we just need to have some food for them and snacks. Means we find sponsor to help these kids. A lot of people will help the kids as long as they are kids. Now, after that, in the morning, we do a kind of exercise or yoga for 1 hour. Then after that, we will have this kind of invited guests. It could be anything about history or even art of a painter or anybody. Then after that, they have individual lesson. Then they will have lunch. Then after that, they have another chamber music group. Then together with individual lesson. Then in the evening, they will have concert. Everybody will play. It's the whole 7 days, every evening there is a concert. It could be duet, trio, or whatever they can provide. Then the teacher will choose who is going to play. Then they can list all the members who want to play there. It is kept repeating and repeating for 7 days. Then the final day, they will have a public concert. But during those, what do you call it, lesson, private lesson or individual lesson, the teachers will be, looking for the assist the student for the orchestral pieces already at that time. And that's we plan the kind of outreach. And the other outreach is this group can be brought to another school or another villages that they don't have any kind of access to the music industry. And that's what we are trying to do in that period in Cebu.
Okay, sounds very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have a lot of questions here from attendees. So I'll start with the first one. Okay. So Mr. Ariel, this one is from an anonymous attendee. So do you have a hard time to teach the new generation? And what advice would you give to them?
Actually, in my part, because if you are teaching the bassoon, the student's supposed to be interested in the bassoon. Otherwise, it's very difficult to teach it. Then, actually, I discourage the student if he doesn't want to play the bassoon. Because I will ask him, maybe you play another instrument if you want to. Now, when I teach the student, I really support the student because the bassoon is very rare. It's only a few people knows this or even student. I help them to make reeds also because the reed is very important in the bassoon. If you have a good reed, you can make the sound of the bassoon better. Even though you have a great bassoon and you have a lousy reed, it will never sound better.
Okay.
That's why I really help them, especially with the reed. I teach them a little bit of adjusting the reed and more reeds that I have. That's what the help that I can do to the student.
I see. Okay. So thank you for that answer. We'll move on to the next one. Okay, so what do you enjoy most about being a musician, Mr. Ariel?
The good thing about the musician is you travel a lot.
Oh,
When
okay.
when I was young at that age, see, I traveled to Aspen, Colorado. I stay in a hotel. Everything is free. Everything is, you meet a lot of good friends, good people, a lot of culture, and you meet, especially when we eating in the table, and especially these mga workshops or mga festival. You see one, there's Chinese, Korean, Japanese. Means the music really unites people. That's what I love about it, because there is no barrier about music. You can communicate to anyone.
Agree.
And that's why I love being a musician, because of this kind of thing that we connect to people.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ariel. So we'll move on to the next question. Okay, this one is asked also by an anonymous attendee. Okay, of all the musical instrument, why did you choose the bassoon? He asked.
I told you before, the bassoon
Yeah.
chose me because
Yeah.
of the fate or what happened. Everything just fall by itself. The chance, the opportunities. Because when I studied the bassoon in UP, the first time I became serious, after 1 year of study, I become a member of the Manila Symphony Orchestra already. Means I'm earning, I'm just first year in my study. Then after that, I continue. Then after 3 years, I said, I need to graduate. I don't have any better instrument. What am I going to do? Then my friend from Hong Kong Philharmonic Orchestra, the bass player, invited me to have a kind of a holiday. And then this bassoon player from the Hong Kong Phil will teach me for free. I stay there for 1 month, and then I extended for another month. Then the opportunity asked me that teacher, if you want to study here in the Hong Kong Academy, because he's teaching there. Then he arranged everything. That's what I get in there. There's not a kind of effort, but things just happen by itself. Then I became a scholar in Hong Kong. Then everything just followed. All the festival, I was accepted. And then I didn't even sweat. Means what I'm doing is probably the right track. That's why it just happened by faith.
Okay. Very personal sharing. Okay. We'll move on to the next one. Okay, also asked by an anonymous attendee. So, Mr. Ariel, how often and how long do you practice?
At the moment, I'm not the same like before. But when I was a student, I actually practice a lot. Then when I practice, I need to plan my practice, because I did a lot of practice that I had no plan, and it's a waste of time. I didn't develop anything. That's why when I was in Hong Kong, my teacher told me that kind of thing. Practice scale, practice with metronome, slowly. Means the way I practice is I need to, what do you call it, make my fingers coordinated with my mind. Means the muscle. Means this is what the problem is. We just need to hurry. But the thing is, we need to remember the movement of all the muscle in the instrument, because that's the only way to play perfectly or consistency. Then slow is the best, because when you play slower, you need to think about the finger, the embouchure, the air, the position. Means your mind's supposed to have this kind of peripheral thing. Means you are thinking a lot of things at the same time, maybe 8 things. That's why it's slow. It's a good thing. You are practicing your mind, how the things is operating. And that is a very good practice that I do, that it gives me a very strong technique, because when you have a technique, then you can do the music easily. Now that's why scale studies, it's very important than the music. The music is only the presentation of your studies. It's a kind of fun to play. But the difficult thing is the preparation. That's why you need to concentrate in the preparation 200 or 300 times that music itself. Because when you do that, the music will just fly by itself. Then the maturity of that is your experience to play in good quality music na. Takes time. Yeah. That's the way I do it. That's why I
So,
always teach my student, no, slow, slow. If you move your finger, do you know it's moving? Sometimes, you know, because our body has his own intelligence than our mind. Because sometimes when you're hungry, did you tell your mind that you are hungry? Your body reacts when you are hungry. When you get burned, you say, it's what? It's hot. But no, it just reacts by itself. That's why this guy, we need to have this mind and body coordination during the slow process of practice.
see. So on average, how long do you practice, Mr. Ariel?
Actually, when I was studying, I start 8 o'clock in the morning because that's the way I arrive in the school. Then after that, I just practice. When I have a class, I enter in the class. Then I go out, practice again. Then when it's lunch, I eat, then practice again. When there is a class, go to the class, then free time, practice again. Until 12 midnight. I do that every day. Even holiday, even Sunday and Saturday. That's why it gets me a good technique. That's why I went to this festival. I don't even know that I can capable of playing those kind of music. Because when you have a talent, all the opportunity will come to you. You don't need to look for it. That's why prepare yourself, master your crafts, and then all the opportunity will come.
Okay. Thank you for the answer, Mr. Ariel. So we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so this is a question asked by Eugene. So, hi, Mr. Ariel. I'm a clarinet player. I tried to learn how to play the bassoon, but finding it very difficult to get the balance of the weight of the bassoon. Do you think the weight should be on the left or right hand more?
Okay. Actually, when I play the bassoon, I didn't find any kind of stress in my left arm because I tried to balance the bassoon. That if you are sitting down, you have a kind of seat strap. Then when you do that, you need to center the bassoon, the what call it, the weight of that, not stressing your left hand. Means you need to really move if you want to do it until you find the perfect balance. Then that is your position. Means you need to adjust the leather seat strap. It could be forward or backward. You need to experiment. Otherwise, you cannot find the fit and then your arms will get tired or even your finger. That's why I can advise you to, if I can see you, then I can help you or what's wrong with you. Because sometimes I can see it immediately where is the tension. Because if you're not in the right position, it's very difficult to play the bassoon. Because it affects everything, your breathing, your muscle, your fingers, because everything gets tired. That's why you cannot play properly. I know the clarinet is so easy, it's so centered, it's a kind of perfect, but the bassoon is a kind of, you know, like the violin also, it's a very unnatural position. That's why there's a lot of technique how to deal with the violin. Okay?
All right, thank you, Mr. Ariel. I will move on to the next question, also asked by Eugene. Any tips for students who have small hands in learning the bassoon?
Okay. Let me see. Okay, because the bassoon, they have one size only. I've seen a lot of students, like last year, I have a student with a smaller finger. Now, I am adjusting the hand to reach it. Maybe I need to make the front to go forward like that, in the left hand. And you don't need to rest, especially on the right hand, if you have a short hand. because there are two ways of playing, with a handrest or without a handrest of bassoon. I see a lot of the bassoon player that doesn't have any handrest and they play great because it's really very, comfortable to them. Means they have the right position. That's what I suggest to a small finger.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ariel. We'll move on to the next one. Okay, I think this one is already answered, but anyway. Anonymous attendee asks, do you make your own reed?
Of course, I know how to make reed because actually the machine that you use for like profiling machine, gouging machine, and teeth machine, all these it costs $1,000 each. Yeah, for just for the reed. Now I do the conventional way, means the old one, the kind of primitive, the basic. That's why it takes a lot of time for me. But I become better because it's the kind of you're doing it not with the machine because of your eye and feeling of it and measurement, a lot of things. And that's why I've been doing it even up to now. I cannot perfect it. Means sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. That's why you can learn the bassoon for the reed for 50 years, and you can learn the bassoon in 1 year.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ariel. We'll move on to the next one. Okay, who inspired you to play music? Asked by anonymous attendee.
When I listen to the bassoon, it inspired me one bassoon player. When I started playing the bassoon, is this German bassoonist, Klaus Tunemann. And he has a good recording. I always listen it every day, and how he play it well. And I imagining the musicians, how we do it, the technicality, everything like that. That's why it inspired me to play the bassoon a lot. And because of the repertoire and the sound that he used, especially in Baroque music, then when you listen to the Romantic, they have a more, except in classical, there's only one composition. And then it gives me something that it has a different sound, and I feel good when I play it together with the violin or the flute, that we have the same high quality of sound. And it gives me a kind of inspiration to play better also.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ariel. We'll move on to the next one. Asked by anonymous attendee. So, hold on, yeah. Why is the bassoon so expensive, and what is the wood or material normally used by it?
The bassoon uses a maple wood, like in a violin. That's why the longer the bassoon, it's getting better time. And because of engineering, and it's a big instrument and a lot of keys, and because of the curing, a lot of time spent there, and then it has more wood, more metal. That's why it's expensive also, because the smaller the instrument, they use less wood and less metal. Now, even the crook of that, sometimes it's so expensive because you need to have a very good crook. Sometimes they use gold, platinum to have a different effects. But normally, the bassoon is a rare instrument. That's why I think the market is expensive, because not everybody wants it. But if you want to buy a cheap instrument, there is one in China, a lot. It's only cost like maybe 25,000 pesos or 50,000, but it doesn't sound good the way I say. But it's an instrument. That's why it's just like the value of the violin. If you want to have a good bassoon, just the same like violin. The craftsmanship of the bassoon is difficult. That's why.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Ariel. We'll move on to the next one. Okay, asked by anonymous attendees. The weather in our country is so hot. How do we take care of the bassoon?
Usually, if you have a nice place or an aircon in the building, as long as you don't expose it to an open air, in that case also you can put some kind of humidifier, a kind of foam that you put it in a plastic and put water, and then the plastic tube, put a hole on it, and then you can leave it inside the instrument to balance the heat. Because when it's so dry, all the metal will become loosened and the wood will shrink. That's what happened. That's why my advice is put humidifier in it.
Okay, we move on to the next question. Okay, asked by Eugene. There are a few types of straps to support the bassoon. Which type will you prefer or recommend? Normal neck strap, harness strap, shoulder sling, or the seat strap, which is more flexible and less tension to the body.
Actually, if you're standing, means you're playing solo. Then when you're playing solo, you need to be on the neck strap or shoulder strap. But I always use the shoulder strap to lessen the pressure on your neck. Now, if you're playing in an orchestra, you need to sit down, means you need to have a seat strap. Now, if you use the shoulder strap, sometimes it's kind of easy, but it's uncomfortable to the body. I prefer the seat strap. That's why I use it when it's sitting down. Means you need to use both of them, except the neck strap. Don't use it. Use the shoulder.
All right, thank you. We'll move on to the next one. Asked by anonymous attendee. Any suggestion for any method books to learn a bassoon?
Okay, there's a lot of method. Like if you're a beginner, it's kind of Rubach or Weissenborn. They are from very beginner up to intermediate. That's why I can suggest study. But mostly, if you're a beginner, concentrate on scales because the scales is very important. If you can really play it in your instrument in the whole range, the better in slow. Then those other study will become easier. That's why scale is always the key. It's just like a Bible scale.
Okay. So next question. This one is asked by Jay Lee. So what influenced you to be involved with music outreach? Did your music training scholarship impact your involvement?
Yeah, actually, I become involved in outreach because I finished my study for free. Means I need to give something back to others. Means that's why I want to share what I learned from those years of studying abroad. To share it to my co-Filipino, anyone in Asia. That's why I like to share in outreach.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ariel. So next question is also asked by Jaylee. Has your goodwills in outreach opened other performance sponsorship opportunities?
At the moment, opportunities, not at the moment because I mostly teach now and then play some chamber music or in the school. And I'm just waiting for opportunities, to find some more concert.
I see. Okay. Question asked by anonymous attendee. So How many professional bassoonists do you know in Manila or the whole Philippines? I don't think we have more than 10 in the whole Malaysia, excluding bassoonists from overseas.
Yeah, I think we do have a lot here in the Philippines, maybe around 15. Yeah, including the student that I know. But it's a small community here in the Philippines. That's why some of them also that I know who study went abroad for scholarship also. They've been awarded to study in America.
Okay, next one. Asked by anonymous attendee. What is your recommended price range for an entry-level bassoon?
Entry level bassoon. Okay.
Yes.
Actually, if you're going to study an instrument, the bassoon, for the first time, if you can find an old instrument, second hand. Now the price depends of how much they're going to sell it. But if you will buy a Chinese bassoon, it's worth maybe 50,000 to 100,000 in between. You get, it's not a decent instrument, but it will, give up the purpose. The only problem is you need to buy a better group and you need to have a good reed.
Okay. All right. So this will be the last question. This one is asked by Eugene. So, Mr. Ariel, do you have any experience with the Baroque bassoon? How does it differ with the current bassoon in terms of sound and play style?
Yeah, actually, I tried once when I was in England. Actually, it's less keys. Actually, your thumb, you will close the hole with your thumb, and only your little finger have keys, but the rest is all holes. And the sound of the bassoon is a kind of strong and like angry sound, because that's the quality in the Baroque. It's always strong, and the reed is kind of bigger, and it's kind of difficult to tune also because the instrument at that time is not really developed well. Only here at the 19th century, it's a lot easier to play the bassoon.
Okay, hold on. Okay, we have another. This one is also asked by Eugene. What is your favorite orchestral excerpts? Can you share some excerpts which are technically more easier to approach for less experienced players?
Actually, all excerpts actually they have their difficulties, but if you just play it in a slow pace, you can make it. Like Marriage of Figaro, they always ask it. Rite of Spring, it's kind of high. Scheherazade, and a lot of Tchaikovsky because of the solo bassoon, and Shostakovich. They have a lot of solo bassoon. And these things are, just need practice.
Let's see. Okay, so guys, we are running out of time. Okay, so our JPO family program will be broadcasting every night till 14 April. And tomorrow night we will have Datin Veronica Tion as our guest speaker. And she will be sharing with us the topic teaching experiences in Malaysia. And I would like to apologize as well for the bad reception on our part. It's out of our control, so I apologize for that. And please check for the link at our JPO Facebook page and also tune in. And also, if you want to watch again the program tonight, you can also go there, which is broadcast live now. You guys have been great, and thanks to all the questions, and I hope you got the answer you wanted. And for those of you whose answer hasn't been answered yet, and please, you can stay here, please stay, and Mr. Ariel will answer your questions in writing. Thank you once again, Mr. Ariel, for having us for the night and for all of your sharing on your life and experiences in music, and especially the bassoon.
Thank you.
And love you guys. Be safe and be healthy, and do stay at home. And before we end, Mr. Ariel will lead the prayer to end tonight's program. Please pray in whatever faith you believe in for the COVID-19.
Let us pray. Thank you, Jesus, for this wonderful time we spent in tonight's program. I pray together with my brothers and sisters in Christ that we will make use of these crucial times to be the blessing to others. May we not have the spirit of fear, but rather may we act in love. May this be a time to reflect on what you want us to do in our lives so that we will be always at the center of your will. We pray for the healing to come forth those who are sick and troubled. We pray for health workers, doctors, and nurses that you will always inspire them and give them courage to do the calling that they receive from you. We thank you for the garbage collectors, janitors, supermarket workers, the policemen for their tireless efforts to make our lives easier during uncertain times. We pray for our government leaders that you will give them godly wisdom and the courage to do what is right. We also pray for the leaders of the church for protection. Lord, we dedicate to you all that we do. May it be the pleasing aroma to you. May this time reflect what is important and essential in our lives. Keep us safe, Lord, and may we be good stewards of all the gifts that you have given us. Thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right. Thank you once again, Mr. Ariel, for all of your sharing. And good night, and see you all at the same time tomorrow. Thank you.